First of all, thank you very much to all the people in the media who have done their job right, or at least are trying their best to do the right thing in terms of covering the Israeli genocide in Gaza. I know it's not always easy, and I know that there's always a pushback regardless of what type of media you work with. But I think it's really important to note that why is it that some Middle Eastern media, or pro-Palestine media even, are so centered in their discourse and coverage in an American and Israeli point of view? They might be critical of it, they might be exposing it, but they are under the impression that only things that Washington and Tel Aviv says or say matters. So for example, they would go from a press conference where Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking live to another by Jake Sullivan, then to Biden, then to Blinken somewhere in the Middle East, then to Gallant, then to Hagari, and it could go on and on like this for hours. And then they bring the analysts to talk about what the Israelis and the Americans are saying. What about China? What about various African countries, including South Africa? What about Russia? What about South America? What about Brazil? What about so many other countries that matters? Now you would say, but hold on, maybe they don't really matter in the greater scheme of things because the decisions are always coming from Washington. But that's the point. That is no longer the case. The outcomes of what is happening in Gaza is actually being determined by the Palestinians themselves, by the resistance, by the resilience of the Palestinian people, by the international solidarity that is happening all over the world, by Yemen, by Lebanon, by Iraq, by South Africa, by the ICJ, by civil society groups. The power has shifted. If the power shifted, the discourse must also shift. So please, let's collectively liberate ourselves from mental slavery to the American and Israeli discourse. Gallant doesn't matter anymore, because if he did, he would have won the war by now, and he would have determined the fate of Gaza by now. Blinken doesn't matter anymore, because he is desperate, trying to keep some relevance to America in the region and the world, but their leadership is crashing. And they are suffering at every possible level, politically, strategically, even militarily. Yes, because the US is directly involved in the war on Gaza. So please shift your coverage, change the center of gravity, go to the global south, listen to the Palestinians themselves, and stop this constant attempt at, even though unwittingly at times, validating the Israeli and the American viewpoint. Thank you.